యుద్ధం ఇది మేధా యుద్ధం, మేధావుల మధ్య జరిగే భీకర పోరాటం. యుద్ధం ఇది మేధా యుద్ధం, మేధావుల మధ్య జరిగే భీకర పోరాటం. రాజు మంత్రి ఏనుగొంటె సిపాయులను కదిలిస్తూ, జిరాఫీ గుర్రాలను ఎగిరిస్తూ. రాజు మంత్రి ఏనుగొంటె సిపాయులను కదిలిస్తూ, జిరాఫీ గుర్రాలను ఎగిరిస్తూ. గెలుపు కొరకు ఆడే నవ భారతమేదో పోరాటం. జిరాఫీ చెస్సు మేధాయుద్ధం, జిరాఫీ చెస్సు మేధాయుద్ధం. యుద్ధం 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 ఇది మేధాయుద్ధం, మేధావుల మధ్య జరిగే భీకర పోరాటం.
Fighting with the swords, gone. Playing with the brain, on. Let's play Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3.
International Giraffe Chess Federation presents Hattrick League Season 3 between 10 Proddatur teams. Hello everyone, welcome to India's new 68 squared Giraffe Chess Academy Proddatur, and welcome to the live telecast of no draws, no resigns, only win or lose in just 70 moves Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us watch Hattrick League 8th match between Proddatur Rhinos versus Proddatur Marshals. Each team consists of 3 players. Whoever team all outs opponent all 3 players is the match winners. Let us see the toss at the center of the court.
Head is the ball from Proddatur Rhinos. Proddatur Rhinos, they won the toss and elected to play white side.
And in toss, Proddatur Rhinos team won the toss and opted to play on white side. And here is the both teams lineup. For Proddatur Rhinos team, Charantej is the opener and Ganesh is the second player, and Mohit comes to play as third player. And for Proddatur Marshals team, Sai Charan is the opener and Dharnish is the second player, and Surya comes to play as third player. Now let us watch first game of the match between Proddatur Rhinos team opening player Charantej versus Proddatur Marshals team opening player Sai Charan Nayak. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch. Let us move on to the court. Proddatur Rhinos team opening player Charantej is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court, young scholar awardee Proddatur Marshals team opening player Sai Charan Nayak is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 1 of the match. Black side player Sai Charan Nayak is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 1 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to d6, queen to f3, pawn to g6, bishop to c4, knight to f6, giraffe to e3, bishop to g7, giraffe capture knight at f6, bishop capture giraffe at f6, pawn to g4, castling at king side, pawn to h4, pawn to c6, pawn to h5, pawn to g5, pawn to h6, pawn to d5, bishop to d3, pawn capture pawn at e4, bishop capture pawn at e4, knight to a6, bishop to d3, rook to e8, queen to e4, giraffe to e6, giraffe to f3, giraffe to d6, giraffe capture giraffe at e6, bishop capture giraffe at e6, queen capture pawn at h7 and check to black king, king to f8, bishop to e4, giraffe to a5, pawn to d4, giraffe capture pawn to d4 and check to white king, king to f1, giraffe capture bishop at c1, bishop to d3, giraffe to d4, queen to e4, giraffe capture rook at a1, king to e9, knight to f3, bishop to d5, queen to f5, bishop capture knight at f3, queen capture bishop at f3, giraffe to b4, knight to c3, bishop capture knight at c3, pawn capture bishop at e3, giraffe to e5, queen capture pawn at f7, rook to f8, queen to g7, giraffe capture pawn at f2, pawn to h8, pawn equal queen, giraffe to e5, king to g2, knight to c5, queen to h7, king to e8, queen capture pawn at e7 and check to black king, queen capture queen at e7, bishop to g6 and check to black king, king to d7, rook to d1 and check to black king, king to c7, queen captured queen at e7 and check to black king, king to b6, rook to b1 and check to black king, king to a6, queen capture knight at e5, pawn to b5, queen capture pawn at c6 and check to black king, king to a5,
Now Charantej
queen capture
immediately
pawn at
captured pawn
b5
at
and check to
b5
black
and
king,
set
and
check
it's
to
a
black
checkmate.
king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Charantej. What a superb checkmate win to Charantej. Sai Charan out. Proddatur Marshals team lost the first player. And Charantej with this win, he won the first game and still need 2 more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch second game of the match between Proddatur Rhinos team opening player Charantej versus Proddatur Marshals team second player Dharnesh Reddy. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Dharnesh Reddy already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Proddatur Rhinos team opening player Charantej is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Marshals team second player Dharnesh Reddy is ready to play on white side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 2 of the match. Black side player Charantej is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 2 started.
Pawn to d4, pawn to e5, pawn to e3, queen to e6, bishop to d2, pawn capture pawn at d4, pawn capture pawn at d4, queen capture pawn at d4, bishop to c3, queen to e4 and check to white king, queen to e2, queen capture queen at e2 and check to white king, knight capture queen at e2, knight to f6, knight to a3, bishop capture knight at a3, pawn capture bishop at a3, knight to e4, pawn to f3, knight capture bishop at c3, knight capture knight at c3, castling at king side, knight to b5, rook to e8 and check to white king, bishop to e2, knight to a6, castling at queen side, pawn to c6, knight to d4, pawn to c5, bishop capture knight at a6, pawn capture bishop at a6, knight to b3, pawn to c4, knight to d4, rook to b8, rook to e1, giraffe to e6, giraffe to e3, pawn to c3, giraffe to h4, pawn to g5, giraffe to e5, giraffe to b5, b4, rook capture rook at e1, rook captured rook at e1, bishop to b7, rook capture giraffe at e9, king to f8, rook to e1, king to g7, knight to f5 on check to black king, king to f6, knight to g3, pawn to d5, knight to h5 on check to black king, king to g6, knight to g3, pawn to d4, knight to e4, bishop capture knight at e4, pawn capture bishop at e4, giraffe captured pawn at a2, giraffe to f3 and check to black king, king to h5, pawn to h3, king to h4, giraffe to e5 and check to blocking, king to g3, giraffe to h6 and check to blocking, king capture pawn at g2, giraffe to c4, king capture pawn at h3, giraffe to e7, rook to g8, giraffe to f5, rook to g6, giraffe to e2 and check to blocking, king to g3, giraffe capture pawn to d4, king to f2, giraffe to f5, pawn to g4, rook to d1, pawn to g3, giraffe to c7, giraffe capture rook at d1, king captured giraffe at d1, king
Now
to
we can see
f1,
Charantes is just one step away to win
king
by
to
crowning.
d0,
Now he moved his king
king
to
to e0,
e0
crowning
and
win.
won the game by crowning. What a superb crowning win to Charantes. And Darnish out. Proddatur Marshals team, second player Darnish out. Charantes with this win, he won continuously 2 games and still need one more win to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch third game of the match between Proddatur Rhinos team opening player Charantes versus Proddatur Marshals team last player Surya. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Charantes already won continuously 2 games and now playing for third game for doing hat-trick. Let us see what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Proddatur Rhinos team opening player Charantes is ready to play on right side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Marshals team last player Surya is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start game 3 of the match. Black side player Surya is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 3 started.
Pawn to e4, knight to c6, queen to f3, knight to f6, giraffe to e3, knight to d6, queen to g3, Knight capture pawn at e4. Queen to f4. Knight captured pawn at c2 and check to white king. King to e2. Knight capture rook at a1. Queen capture knight at e4. Pawn to g6. King to d1. Pawn to d6. Giraffe to b4. Bishop to f5. Queen to e3. Bishop to c2 and check to white king. King to e2. Bishop capture knight at b1. Giraffe capture bishop at b1. Knight to e2. Queen to c3. Knight capture giraffe at b4. Queen capture knight at b4. Pawn to e6. Queen capture pawn at b7. Pawn to e5. Pawn to g4. Giraffe to e6. Queen to c6 and check to black king. Queen to d7. Queen capture rook at a8 and check to black king. Queen to d8. Queen capture pawn at a7. Pawn to d5. Bishop to h3. Giraffe to d6. Queen to a6. Queen to g5. Knight to f3. Queen to f4. Pawn to d4. Queen to e4 and check to white king. King to f1. Queen capture knight at f3. Bishop to g2.
Now Surya Surya immediately moved his
Queen
queen to
to
d1 and said check to white king. It is
d1
not
and check
only
to
check,
white king,
it
and it's
is
a
a checkmate
checkmate.
win to Surya. What a superb checkmate win to Surya. Charantej is almost on with this win. He is an hat-trick. He lost the hat-trick chance. What a great chance lost by the Charantej. Surya won the first game after Marshals lost continuously 2 games, and Surya now he came back with win and is having chances to do hat-trick today. Let us see what will happen. And with this win, Surya he won the first game and still need 2 more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch fourth game of the match between Proddatur Marshals team last player Surya versus Proddatur Rhinos team second player Ganesh. Let us see who will win this game. If Ganesh wins this game, his Proddatur Rhinos team won the match. If Surya wins this game, match will be tied with 2-all games and go for fifth game for results. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Marshals team last player Surya is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. 3 times hat-trick hero, Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Rhinos team second player Ganesh is ready to play on black side. Okay. Now we can see both players are ready to start. Game 4th of the match. Black side player Ganesh is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 4 started.
Knight to f3, pawn to d6, knight to c3, pawn to e5, pawn to e3, pawn to f5, pawn to d4, pawn to e4, knight to d2, pawn to d5, pawn to f3, bishop to b4, pawn capture pawn at e4, pawn capture pawn at e4, pawn to a3, bishop capture knight at c3, giraffe capture bishop at c3, giraffe to d6, giraffe capture giraffe at d6, queen capture giraffe at d6, queen to h5 and check to black king, pawn to g6, queen to e2, knight to f6, pawn to b3, rook to f8, pawn to c4, bishop to e6, pawn to a4, pawn capture pawn at c4, bishop to a3, queen to b6, bishop capture, rook at f8, king capture bishop at f8, rook to b1, pawn capture pawn at b3, knight capture pawn at b3, queen to b4 and check to white king, knight to d2, queen capture pawn at a4, queen to f2, king to e7, rook capture pawn at b7, queen to a5, rook to b5, queen to a3, rook to e5, knight to d5, queen to h4 and check to black king, king to e8, knight capture pawn at e3, queen to c1 and check to white king, king to f2, Queen
Now
captured
Ganesh
pawn to
immediately
E3 and check to
captured
white
pawn
king
at
and it's a
E3
checkmate.
and set check to white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Ganesh. What a superb checkmate win to Ganesh. Surya out. Proddatur Marshals team, last player Surya out. With this out, Proddatur Marshals team all out and lost the match. Surya, he lost the great hat-trick chance. Finally, in this match, no hat-trick created from both side team players. Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us see match number 8. Proddatur Rhinos versus Proddatur Marshals match scoreboard. In game 1, Proddatur Rhinos player Charan Tej outs Proddatur Marshals player Sai Charan by checkmate in 40 moves. In game 2, Proddatur Rhinos player Sai Charan Tej outs Proddatur Marshals player Dharnesh by crowning in 46 moves. In game 3, Proddatur Marshals player Surya outs Proddatur Rhinos player Charan Tej by checkmate in 25 moves. Very bad luck to Charan Tej. He lost his chance for doing hat-trick. In game 4, Proddatur Rhinos player Ganesh outs Proddatur Marshals player Surya by checkmate in 27 moves. And here is the final match result. Proddatur Rhinos team won the match by all outs Proddatur Marshals team in 4 games. And here is the points table after 8 matches. Let us see what are the top 4 teams. Proddatur Chirutas with 4 points stands in first position. Proddatur Kings with 2 points stands in second position. Proddatur Jaguars with 2 points stands in third position. Proddatur Panthers with 2 points stands in fourth position. Each team, after playing 9 games, final points are calculated for the top 4 positions. Then top 4 teams qualify for the playoffs.
యుద్ధం ఇది మేధా యుద్ధం మేధావుల మధ్య జరిగే భీకర పోరాటం యుద్ధం ఇది మేధా యుద్ధం మేధావుల మధ్య జరిగే భీకర పోరాటం రాజు మంత్రి ఏనుగొంటె సిపాయులను కదిలిస్తూ జిరాఫీ గుర్రాలను